Hello everybody, welcome back to another Sigma Max Capital video. So today I'm going to be talking about the importance of pick and shovel investment plays. And this is going to be on a new kind of um, series I'll be doing about Sigma Max investment principles. So, disclaimer, the following content is for educational informational purposes only and reflects my personal opinions and insights. Nothing should be considered financial advice. So, I want to start out with explaining what are picks and shovels. So I've pulled this definition from Investopedia. It's a great resource, if you want to get into investing, literally just take a few hours, sit on the thing, read about things, like it's perfect. So picks and shovel plays are investment strategies that invest in the underlying technology needed to produce a good or service instead of in the final output. It's a way to invest in an industry without having to endure the risks of the market for the final product. So I'm going to talk about a lot of examples later on. But basically, this investment strategy originated from the California Gold Rush. So an example of this is a man called Levi Strauss. Everybody has probably heard of his company at least. It's still probably the biggest denim brand out there to this day. I wear a lot of them myself. I think they're really good quality, last forever. But he moved from Germany, I believe, to California during the peak of the gold rush in the 1800s. And, you know, thousands of people were out west looking for gold, thinking they'll strike it big, things like this. And he actually was one of the biggest benefactors of gold mining, but he never mined for gold himself. He went there and looked at a lot of the clothing that the miners were wearing, and it was unsuitable for the work they're doing. Anybody who's spent time in California, you can actually visit a lot of these gold mines. It's rough terrain. They're out there all day. It's hot weather. It's dusty. It's hard work. And what he's created was denim as we know it today. So the rivets on the side of jeans, kind of through pockets, apparently a lot of those were breaking, and he noticed this, and so he used metal rivets, which were a lot more durable, and he basically just sold denim to miners in California. And through doing this, he became actually one of the richest people in San Francisco, which says a lot because, there was a lot of gold being found at that time. So the story, the lesson from this is that Levi Strauss was able to profit from the gold rush no matter who finds the gold. So it doesn't matter if Bill or Charlie find the gold. Whoever finds it, he's selling them both the jeans, he'll win. So that's what picks and shovels are all about. And I'm going to walk through an example here about AI. So as most people know, Nvidia is one of the biggest, I think it's the biggest at the minute, company in the world, maybe Microsoft today, but it's up there. So as of today, I think I checked, it's got like a $3.3 trillion market cap, which is absolutely mental. Um, but why Nvidia is so big and powerful is because they're an AI play. They're an example of a pick and shovel play. So I'm not I believe, by the way, this is just an example. I believe it's a stupidly overvalued company. Like I, I wouldn't go near it. But it's just a good example of how 5 years ago, if you're thinking, how do I invest in AI? I think it's going to become a big thing. Where do I look? Nvidia was one of the best companies to invest in because no matter who wins, who builds the best pure play AI model. So, ChatGPT, OpenAI, Google's Gemini, Elon Musk's xAI, etc. All of these companies, they're all competing to build the AI. But to build the AI, you have to have the chips and GPUs, the graphics cards, to power this. And, NVIDIA is by far the best company that produces this hardware. AMD also does good ones, but NVIDIA is by far the best graphics card out there. At the minute they have the 5080 out. This is an image here. I'm still rocking the 1660 Super. Maybe I'll be able to get one of these one day, but this is what I mean. To be able to run these AI models, you have to have the hardware, and NVIDIA produces the hardware. This is a picks and shovels play. So whoever builds the best model, they all invest in billions. NVIDIA's sitting back there saying, whoever builds a model, we still win no matter what. That's how this works. Coinbase, another example. If you look at Coinbase, it's a massive company. Ticker's coin. Let's see. I'm gonna even check how much the market cap is for this. So Coinbase's market cap is 68 billion roughly, and they're literally just a brokerage for crypto. And the way brokerages work usually is they um have transaction fees to like the buy and spread price of crypto. Same with stocks. So no matter who is making money, losing money in the crypto market, as long as people are investing in crypto, which they have been for years, and even more so if people are just day trading crypto, which a lot of these guys, I see on TikTok and YouTube, like these guys trading meme coins. Coinbase loves this because if you buy and sell every day, they make money on you every day rather than if you buy and hold for a few years. So this is a pure play for sorry, this isn't a pure this is a good picks and shovels play in the crypto space. Again, I'm not giving my opinion on company. I'm just giving you an example of pick and shovel plays. So the question is now, how am I playing? What do I have any pick and shovel investments? And I can assure you that I do. So I've already done videos on these offshore oil service companies. So I don't know if I mentioned it in my offshore video because I'm also invested in offshore oil drillers. But there's companies out there like Tidewater which operate a fleet of offshore service vehicles. So as long as the offshore drillers are booming and doing well, Tidewater does well. So although they don't have any direct exposure to drilling oil, they provide, everything that needs taken to the rigs, carrying people over, supplies, helping move them, construct them. They do this. So as long as the offshore oil drillers do well, Tidewater is a benefactor of that. And let's say you're bullish nuclear energy. A lot of people invest in like reactors and utility companies, things like that. Those have done very well. But let's say you want to pick and shovel play of this. Investing in uranium stocks like I've been talking about in like my last couple videos ago. This is a pick and shovel place for nuclear energy, clean energy, and even, you can say AI. Um, this is a pick and shovel play for AI as, look at a lot of these databases are now saying, we need more energy. We're going to be using nuclear. Well, you know, the nuclear reactors and power has to have uranium, and where's that uranium going to come from? You see, it's all about thinking down the road, like um, being a bit more strategic and thinking, looking where other people aren't. And you can see that if you were to have done this a few years ago for something like Nvidia, um, or Cameco or Tidewater, like if you look at these prices, Cameco over the past 5 years up 420 odd percent. Tidewater is up 913% over the past 5 years. So, you know, there's a lot of leverage, I believe, to investing in pick and shovel stocks. And it's something that I definitely look out for when I'm investing. If you look for the straight pure plays for um, booming industries, they're probably going to be overvalued. Everybody's looking at them. I mean, for example, at the minute, the best pure play AI would probably the publicly traded one would probably be Microsoft, um, just because they own such a large portion of OpenAI, and all the other ones are kind of private at the minute. Whereas you wouldn't have done as well 5 years ago investing in that rather than investing in Nvidia. And I know I'm just using Nvidia as an example because everybody knows about it. Um, and it's you can see how well it's done. It's just a really good example of it. I understand that, obviously looking back 5 years ago, I wouldn't have had the insight to buy that. I'm not really I'm not a tech guy, like I don't understand it as well. But it's just a good example. So yeah, thank you very much for listening today. As always, nothing is investment advice, just me having a rant about stuff. I'm gonna try and create more videos, see what people like. I saw that the uranium video got quite a lot of views, whereas my last one got like none. So I'll keep that in mind. I'm gonna discuss a lot more sectors. So subscribe, stay along. We're gonna grow this massively. We're gonna become massive. I believe it. Create a massive community. But yeah, thank you very much for listening, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Take care. Bye.